Snow drifts through the neon-soaked streets of Seoul. Christmas carols blend with the hum of traffic below. A young woman sprints through a narrow alley, her red scarf whipping behind her. Her designer heels clatter against wet pavement. She glances back. Nothing visible, but something's there. She reaches a fire escape, climbs. Metal groans under her frantic movements. The rooftop opens before her, nowhere left to run. A shadow stretches across the snow-dusted concrete. She screams. The sound cuts off. Her scarf tumbles through the air, landing 7 stories below in a pristine drift of white. If you enjoyed dark, high-stakes thrillers with danger, power, romance, and betrayal, stay with me. This story gets intense fast. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more. Zara Williams hunched over her laptop at 2 a.m., surrounded by printouts and half-empty coffee mugs. Photos of 5 women covered the wall above her desk. Different faces, same haunted look in their eyes. Her phone buzzed against the wooden surface. Unknown number. She picked it up. Hello? Static crackled. Then a voice, digitally distorted, deliberately slow. Stop looking for the missing girls, or you'll join them. Tonight was a warning. The line went dead. Zara set the phone down. Her hand didn't shake. She'd received threats before. Occupational hazard of investigative journalism. But this one felt different, personal. She grabbed her coat and camera bag. She arrives at the crime scene. Police tape cordoned off the building's entrance. She approached a young officer, flashing a press credential that looked legitimate enough in dim lighting. He waved her through without checking twice. The rooftop was chaos. Uniformed officers, forensic techs in white suits, camera flashes illuminating blood spatter near the ledge. 2 detectives stood apart from the others, speaking in rapid Korean. Zara moved closer, her phone's translation app catching fragments. 5th one in 3 years, the older detective said, lighting a cigarette despite the no-smoking signs. Same pattern, Christmas season. They disappear, come back broken, the younger detective added. Or don't come back at all. Zara's stomach tightened. She'd seen this pattern before, 16 years ago, different city, same nightmare. Her sister's face flashed in her mind. Maya, age 14, vanished during winter break. Never found. She raised her camera, documenting everything, the scratch marks on the concrete ledge, a single diamond earring near the roof access door, the way the blood pooled and froze. Journalists aren't allowed at active crime scenes. The voice came from behind her, smooth, controlled, with an edge that suggested he rarely needed to repeat himself. Zara turned. Kang Min-jun stood 3 feet away, hands in the pockets of an expensive black overcoat. Everything about him screamed money. The tailored fit, the silver watch catching moonlight, the way he held himself like someone accustomed to owning whatever room he entered. I have credentials, Zara said, keeping her voice steady. Fake ones. He stepped closer. I know because I own this building. And I know you're Zara Williams, freelance journalist, here on an expired work visa. Currently living in a studio apartment in Itaewon that costs more than you can afford. Zara's jaw clenched. You've done your homework. I always do. His eyes, dark, unreadable, locked on hers. But I'm not going to report you. Why not? Because you're looking for the missing girls. He glanced at the crime scene, expression hardening. And so am I. Zara studied him. Designer clothes, casual mention of building ownership, the way the police hadn't questioned his presence. This man had power, the dangerous kind. What's your interest in this? She asked. One of them was mine. The words landed heavy between them. Mine to protect, he clarified, though something in his tone suggested multiple meanings. My stepsister, Kang Soo-jin. 3 years ago, Christmas Eve. First victim in your pattern. He pulled out his phone. Showed her a photo, a young woman with a bright smile, arm in arm with a younger version of Min-jun at what looked like a family gathering. The police said she ran away, he continued. My father said she betrayed the family, but I know someone killed her, and they've been killing ever since. Zara's reporter instincts kicked in. If you have information, why not go to the police? Min-jun's laugh was bitter. The police work for my father. Half of them are on his payroll. And the other half? Dead, or too smart to matter. The implication hung in the cold air. Zara had suspected corruption, but this level of control was something else entirely. Min-jun reached into his coat. Zara tensed, but he only pulled out a business card. Heavy cardstock, minimal design. Just a phone number. Meet me tomorrow, Christmas Day. Hansong Hotel. Rooftop bar, 8 p.m. He pressed the card into her palm. Come alone. He turned to leave, then paused at the roof's edge. Oh, and Zara. His gaze swept the surrounding buildings, dozens of windows overlooking their position. Watch your back. Whoever sent you that message tonight, they're watching right now. Cold ran down Zara's spine. She followed his gaze to the dark windows, suddenly aware of how exposed she was under the crime scene lights. When she looked back, Min-jun was gone. Back at her apartment later that night, Zara's hand froze on her doorknob. A red scarf hung from the handle, tied in a perfect bow, the same shade as the victim's, as the one she'd seen floating down to the street. Her pulse kicked up. She looked down the hallway, empty, silent except for a neighbor's television, filtering through thin walls. She unlocked the door carefully, pushing it open with her foot while staying in the threshold. The apartment looked untouched, her laptop still on the desk, coffee mugs where she'd left them, photos still pinned to the wall. But on her kitchen counter, something new. A snow globe sat in the center, catching light from the street outside. Seoul Tower suspended inside, surrounded by perpetual winter. A small card rested beneath it. Zara forced herself to move to cross the space between door and counter. Her hands shook now, she couldn't help it. She picked up the card. Merry Christmas, Zara. You looked beautiful tonight. Your Christmas miracle? The handwriting was elegant, careful, practiced. She turned the snow globe over. An engraving caught the light. 12.25. T2. The date of Sujin's disappearance. The first victim. Zara set it down like it had burned her. She pulled out her phone, pulled up Min-jun's number from the business card. Her thumb hovered over the call button. Someone had been in her apartment. Someone knew where she lived, what she looked like, where she'd been tonight. Someone who connected themselves to the very first disappearance. She started to dial. The lights went out. Zara froze in complete darkness, phone screen the only illumination. The building's power sometimes flickered, but this felt different. Too convenient, too timed. She heard it then, the distinct sound of her front door closing. She hadn't closed it. Hello? Her voice came out stronger than she felt. I've already called the police, they're on their way. Silence, then footsteps, slow, deliberate, moving through her apartment. Zara backed toward the window. Phone clutched tight. The screen provided just enough light to make out shapes. Her desk, her chair, the silhouette now standing between her and the door. Zara Williams. The voice was different from the phone call. Not distorted, but she couldn't place it. Male, Korean accent, almost gentle. You should have heeded the warning. Who are you? Someone who's been waiting a very long time to meet you. The figure moved closer. Something metal glinted in his hand. Too small for a gun, too large for a knife. Zara's back hit the window. Nowhere left to run. The light suddenly blazed back on. She blinked against the brightness, and the apartment was empty. No figure, no intruder. Just her, alone with racing pulse and the snow globe still sitting innocently on the counter. But the red scarf remained on her door handle. And on her laptop screen, which she hadn't left open, a new tab displayed a news article. American woman found dead in Seoul. Authorities rule accident. The photo showed a woman who looked enough like Zara to be her sister. The caption read, Body discovered Christmas morning. Identity pending. The article was dated tomorrow. Zara's phone buzzed in her hand. A text from the unknown number. See you at Christmas breakfast. Wear something pretty for the morgue. That night, Zara didn't sleep. She sat cross-legged on her bed, laptop balanced on her knees, surrounded by energy drink cans and notebook pages covered in frantic handwriting. Every light in the apartment blazed. She'd checked the locks 17 times. The kitchen knife sat within arm's reach. Her screen displayed everything she could find on Kang Min-jun. The surface level was impressive enough. Heir to Hansong Group, one of Seoul's largest hospitality conglomerates. Hotels, luxury apartments, commercial real estate across Asia. Net worth estimated at over $2 billion. But 3 pages deep into Korean business forums, the narrative shifted. Hansong Group. Legitimate business or organized crime. Front, Kang Dae-jung's empire built on blood and secrets. The Kang family's untouchable status. Police corruption, or something worse. Zara clicked through archived news articles, translations rough but clear enough. Money laundering investigations that mysteriously closed, witnesses who recanted testimony, journalists who stopped reporting on the family after receiving generous settlements. One article from 5 years ago caught her attention. Kang matriarch, dead in apparent suicide. Family releases no statement. The photo showed an elegant woman in her 50s, Min Jun's mother. The official cause of death: overdose of prescription medication. No autopsy performed at the family's request. The article's author had added a final line before the story was scrubbed from most sites. Sources close to the family suggest foul play, but no investigation forthcoming. Zara leaned back against her headboard. She was scheduled to meet with a crime lord's son in, she checked the time, 13 hours. Her phone rang, making her jump. She recognized the number. James, her editor back in Atlanta. She answered on video call. James appeared on screen, 50-something, graying beard, wearing his Morehouse College sweatshirt, his office behind him, American morning light streaming through the windows. "Merry Christmas," he said, though his expression suggested anything but holiday cheer. "You look terrible." "Thanks. You too." "Zara, I got your email. The one marked urgent that you sent at 3 a.m. your time." He held up his phone, reading from it. "If something happens to me, publish everything. Contact Detective Park at Seoul Metropolitan Police. Tell them about the Kang family." "Want to explain what the hell is going on?" Zara told him. The phone call, the break-in that wasn't, the snow globe, the impossible news article dated for today. James listened without interrupting, his expression growing darker. "Come home," he said when she finished. "Right now. Today. I'll wire you money for a flight." "I can't." "Zara. 5 women, James. 5 women who disappeared, and nobody's looking for them because the people who should be looking are either paid off or scared silent." She picked up the photo of Soo-jin from her notes. This girl was 23 years old. She had her whole life ahead of her. "So do you." "My sister was 14. The words came out harder than she intended. "I've spent 16 years wondering what happened to Maya. 16 years of maybes and what-ifs. These families don't have to wonder. I can give them answers." James rubbed his face. "This isn't about saving Maya. You know that, right? Maya's gone. You can't bring her back by risking your life in Seoul." "I know." Zara's voice softened. "But I can stop it from happening to someone else's sister." Silence stretched between them, across continents and time zones. "Send me everything," James finally said. "Every file, every note, every scrap of information you have. I'll keep it safe. And Zara, if you miss our check-in call tomorrow, I'm contacting the embassy and every news outlet I can reach." "Deal." They ended the call. Zara sent him the files, then collapsed back on her bed. Her eyes burned from screen time and exhaustion, but sleep felt impossible. The snow globe sat on her nightstand now. She'd moved it there to keep it in sight. Evidence, or perhaps just paranoia given form. She picked it up, shook it. Fake snow swirled around Seoul Tower, settling slowly. Her phone buzzed. Another text from the unknown number. "Still alive. I'm impressed. Most don't last past the first warning. Enjoy your meeting with Min Jun tonight." "I know I will." Zara stared at the message. Whoever this was, they knew about her meeting, which meant they were either watching Min Jun, watching her, or both. She typed back, "Who are you?" The response came immediately. "You'll find out soon enough. Merry Christmas, Zara. See you tonight." Zara arrived early, scanning the venue from the elevator before stepping out. The rooftop bar was everything she'd expected from Seoul's ultra-wealthy. Floor-to-ceiling glass panels, heated outdoor seating despite the snow, views that made the city look like a circuit board of lights stretching to the horizon. Christmas decorations dripped from every surface, but elegant ones: white orchids, crystal ornaments, thousands of tiny lights that looked like captured stars. She felt immediately out of place. The black dress she wore was borrowed from her neighbor, a Korean-American teacher who'd taken pity on her "I have nothing appropriate" panic. It fit well enough, but Zara kept tugging at the hem, hyper-aware of the designer labels and casual wealth surrounding her. "Miss Williams." A server appeared at her elbow. Young woman, immaculate uniform, professional smile. "Mr. Kang is waiting for you. This way, please." Zara followed her through the crowd to a private section, separated by frosted glass panels and more of those fairy lights. Min Jun sat at a table positioned for maximum view, the city sprawling beneath them. He wore a dark suit, no tie, top button undone, somehow managing to look both formal and relaxed. He stood when he saw her, and something shifted in his expression. Not quite a smile, but close. "You came. You didn't give me much choice," Zara said, remaining standing. "You threatened to report my visa status." "I don't make threats. I share information." He gestured to the seat across from him. "But I'd never report you. You're far too interesting for that." Zara sat, maintaining careful distance. The table was small, intimate. Everything about this setup felt designed to create false comfort. Min Jun poured wine from a bottle she couldn't pronounce. He slid the glass toward her. "I don't drink on the job," she said. "This isn't a job. This is Christmas dinner." He raised his own glass. "And you look like you could use it." "Fair point." Zara picked up the glass, took a small sip. The wine was smooth, expensive, probably cost more than her rent. "You said one of the missing women was yours," she started, pulling out her phone to record. "Who was she?" Min Jun's expression hardened. He reached across and gently pushed her phone face down on the table. "No recording. Not here. These walls have ears, and not all of them are mine." "Then how do I verify anything you tell me?" "You don't. You decide whether to trust me or not." He leaned back, studying her. "But I'll tell you anyway because I think you already know some of this." He pulled out his phone, brought up a photo, handed it to her. The same woman from last night, Kang Soo-jin. But this photo was different. A candid shot, Soo-jin laughing at something off camera, caught mid-movement, alive and vibrant. "My stepsister," Min Jun said. "She disappeared 3 years ago, Christmas Eve, went to a party in Gangnam. Never came home. The police said she ran away. The police said what my father told them to say." He took the phone back, stared at the photo. Soo-jin was 23. Smart, ambitious, studying international law at Seoul National University. She wanted to work for the UN, help trafficking victims. Trafficking victims. Yes. Min Jun's voice dropped lower. 3 months before she disappeared, Soo-jin came to me, said she'd found something. Documents, financial records. She thought our father's import-export business was a front. For what? For moving people. Women, mostly. Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, Korea. The hotels provide accommodation. The shipping containers provide transport. The cash businesses provide cover. Zara's stomach turned. "You're saying your father runs a human trafficking ring." "I'm saying my father is one of the largest human traffickers in East Asia." Min Jun's expression was carved granite, and Soo-jin was going to expose him. "So he killed her?" "I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe whoever he sold her to killed her. Or maybe she's still alive somewhere, locked in a room in Prague or Bangkok or Manila." His hand tightened around his glass. "I've spent 3 years looking, 3 years following every lead, paying off every source, searching every property he owns. And I found the other women instead." He pulled out a folder from beneath the table, thin but heavy with implication. 4 more disappearances, same pattern. Young women, early 20s, all disappeared around Christmas, all last seen in Gangnam District. All connected to places my father's organization operates. He spread photos across the table. Zara recognized them, the same faces from her wall at home. Park Mi-young, age 24, disappeared December 23rd, 2023. Lee Ji-soo, age 22, disappeared December 26th, 2023. Choi Min-seo, age 25, disappeared December 23rd, 2024. Kim Yoona, age 23, disappeared December 19th, 2024. "Last night's victim makes 5, Min Jun said quietly. Her name was Jung Hae-won, 26 years old. She was a paralegal at a firm that was investigating one of my father's subsidiary companies." "Investigating for what?" "Labor law violations, workers disappearing from construction sites, women hired as hospitality staff who never showed up for their first day." He looked up at her. Hae-won was getting close to something, then she died. Zara studied the photos, her mind working through connections. "Why tell me this? Why not just expose him yourself?" "Because I'm his son. Anything I say looks like a family power struggle. The media would spin it as the prodigal son trying to usurp his father." Min Jun's jaw clenched. "But you, American journalist, no connection to the family, investigating independently. Your story would have credibility, mine never could. That's assuming I live long enough to publish it. That's why I'm offering protection. From what? Your father? The mysterious person sending me threatening texts? Zara leaned forward. How do I know you're not the one behind all of this? Setting me up to take the fall for your family's crimes? Something dangerous flashed in Minjun's eyes. Not anger, but something raw. Pain, maybe. Or recognition of a truth he'd heard before. You don't, he said simply. You're smart to question it. In your position, I would too. Then give me something. Real evidence, not just photos and stories. Minjun reached into his jacket, pulled out a USB drive, set it on the table between them. Financial records, shipping manifests, names of police officers on the payroll, security footage from the hotels. He slid it toward her. Everything I've collected in 3 years. Enough to bring down the entire operation. Zara stared at the drive. If you have all this, why not just go to the press yourself? Because the press in Seoul is controlled by people like my father. By the time any reputable outlet published the story, I'd be dead and the evidence would disappear. He met her eyes. But you have international connections. Your editor in Atlanta, contacts at American news organizations. They can't reach you there. They reached my apartment last night just fine. Minjun's expression darkened. What happened? Zara told him. The break-in, the snow globe, the impossible news article. His hand moved to his phone immediately, fingers flying across the screen. The snow globe, he said, voice tight. What did the engraving say? December 25th, 2022? The date Sujin disappeared. He stood abruptly, moved to the glass panel overlooking the city. Someone's playing games. Someone who knows about the cases, knows about you, knows about our meeting. Your brother. Minjun turned sharply. What? I did my research too. You have a younger brother, Kang Ji-woo, 28 years old, also works for the family business. Same father, different mother. How do you know about Ji-woo? Same way I know about your mother's suicide 5 years ago. Same way I know you took over the company's operations right after she died. Zara stood, moving closer. If you're fighting your father's empire, where does your brother stand? Far away from this conversation. Minjun's voice went cold. Ji-woo isn't involved in any of this. How do you know? Because I made sure of it. After our mother died, I kept him away from the family business. He works legitimate operations only, property management, hotel administration, clean money, clean hands. Nobody in your family has clean hands. The words came out harsher than Zara intended, but Minjun didn't flinch. You're right, he said quietly. Nobody does, including me. Before Zara could respond, her phone buzzed on the table. Text from unknown number. He's lying to you. Check his office. Hansong Building, 40th floor. Tonight. Or you'll never know the truth. Attached was a photo. Minjun entering a hotel room with a woman Zara recognized as Park Mi-young, victim number 4. The timestamp showed December 22nd, 2023, the night before she disappeared. Zara's blood went cold. What is it? Minjun noticed her expression shift. My editor wants an update. The lie came easily, practiced from years of protecting sources. I should get going. Already? Minjun checked his watch. We've barely talked. I have a deadline. She grabbed the USB drive, pocketed it. Thank you for the information. I'll be in touch. She turned to leave. Zara. His voice stopped her. She looked back. Minjun stood silhouetted against the city lights. And for a moment he looked almost vulnerable. Almost human beneath the expensive suit and dangerous reputation. Be careful, he said. You've caught someone's attention. In my world, that's the most dangerous gift you can receive. He moved closer, too close, invading her space with deliberate intent. His hand came up, traced her jaw with unexpected gentleness. Don't investigate me, he whispered. You won't like what you find. His breath was warm against her ear. Zara's pulse kicked up, not fear, something else entirely, something she absolutely could not afford to feel. But if you must. His other hand pressed something into her palm, a keycard. My office, Hanseong Building, 40th floor. Merry Christmas. He stepped back, and the moment shattered. Zara left without another word. The building stood 70 stories tall, glass and steel reflecting the city's Christmas lights. Mostly dark now, just security lighting in a few offices where workaholics spent their holidays. Zara stood across the street staring up at the 40th floor. The keycard felt heavy in her pocket. In the other pocket, her phone with that damning photo of Min-jun and victim number 4. Everything screamed trap. The convenient keycard. The perfectly timed photo. The mysterious texter who somehow knew everything. But if there was any chance of real answers, of evidence that could help those missing women, she crossed the street. The lobby security guard barely looked up from his phone as she flashed the keycard. The elevator required the same card, top-level access. She rode up in silence, watching floor numbers climb. 35, 38, 40. The doors opened onto a private reception area, minimalist decor, floor-to-ceiling windows, everything designed to intimidate. Min-jun's office door stood at the end of a short hallway. Zara approached, keycard ready. Her phone was recording video in her jacket pocket. If this went wrong, at least there'd be evidence. The door unlocked with a soft beep. She pushed it open. The office was massive, corner suite with panoramic city views, expensive furniture, that particular smell of wealth and leather. But what caught her attention was the wall behind his desk. Investigation board. Just like hers at home, but bigger. More detailed. Photos of all 5 victims, connected with red string. Dates, locations, witness statements written in both Korean and English. Maps marking disappearance sites. And in the center, photos of Sujin, dozens of them. Min-jun had been obsessed. Zara moved closer, photographing everything with her phone. Then she saw it. A separate section of the board, photos of her, jogging through Itaewon, coffee cup in hand, leaving her apartment building, sitting at a cafe, laptop open, entering the police station 3 weeks ago. He'd been watching her for months. Her hands shook as she photographed this too. She moved to his desk, tried the drawers. The top ones opened easily. Standard office supplies, business cards, nothing interesting. The bottom drawer was locked. Zara pulled out a paperclip, bent it. Lockpicking wasn't her strongest skill, but she'd learned the basics during an investigative journalism workshop years ago. The lock clicked open. Inside, a box. Wooden, expensive, with a combination lock. The combination was written on a sticky note underneath, 12/25/22. Sujin's disappearance date. Zara's stomach dropped. Too easy, too convenient. She entered the numbers anyway. The box opened. Jewelry spilled out. Bracelets, necklaces, earrings. Women's jewelry. She recognized the pieces from victim photos. Mi Young's silver bracelet, Jisoo's pearl necklace, Min Seo's jade earrings. Oh my God, Zara whispered. He kept trophies. The elevator dinged in the reception area. Someone was coming. Zara closed the box, shoved it back in the drawer, but there was no time to lock it. She looked around frantically. Nowhere to hide in the minimalist office except behind the desk. She dropped down, wedging herself into the knee space, heart hammering. The office door opened. Footsteps crossed the room, confident, unhurried, but not Min-jun's gait. She'd watched him walk away at the rooftop bar. This was different, lighter, younger. Yes, father, a man's voice said in Korean. I left the gift for the journalist. She'll think it's Min-jun Hyung. Zara peeked around the desk edge. A younger man stood at the window, similar features to Min-jun but softer. Handsome in a calculated way. This had to be Ji-woo. No, she doesn't suspect me yet, Ji-woo continued into his phone. She's too focused on Hyung. Yes, the New Year's Eve kill will frame him perfectly. Then, the Empire is ours. Zara's blood turned to ice. The USB drive? Ji-woo laughed. Full of circumstantial evidence that makes him look guilty. Even if she goes to the police, it all points to him. I know, father. I've been patient for 5 years. A few more days won't kill me. He paused, listening. The American journalist? She's useful now, but after New Year's, she becomes a loose end. Don't worry. I'll handle it cleanly. Zara tried to shift her weight silently, her foot pressed against something on the floor. Glass. A broken picture frame. The crunch echoed like a gunshot in the quiet office. Ji-woo stopped talking, turned slowly from the window. I'll call you back, he said, ending the call. Silence. Zara held her breath, pressed against the desk, praying he wouldn't look down. Well, well, She looked up. Jiwoo smiled down at her. Beautiful and terrible. Early Christmas present. He pulled out his phone, pressed something. The office door locked with an audible click. Electronic security controlled remotely. Hello, Zara, he said, voice pleasant as poison. I've been dying to meet you. Zara scrambled out from behind the desk, putting furniture between herself and Jiwoo. Her mind raced through options. The door was locked. 40 floors up meant the windows weren't an escape, and her phone was still recording in her pocket, but that wouldn't help if she was dead. Jiwoo made no move to close the distance. He simply watched her amused. You must be Zara, he said in perfect English, accent more American than his brother's. Min Jun-hyung's new obsession. I have to say you're prettier than the photos. Who are you? Kang Jiwoo, the forgotten son, the spare heir, the one who does all the real work while my brother plays hero. He moved to the bar cart near the window, poured himself a drink. Would you like something? You look pale. I'm fine standing here. Suit yourself. He took a sip, studying her over the rim of his glass. So, how was dinner with my brother? Did he play the tortured soul, the reformed criminal trying to save the women his evil father destroys? Zara said nothing, calculating distances. The door was 15 feet away. Even if she got there, she'd need time to override the electronic lock. Let me guess the script, Jiwoo continued, circling her slowly. He told you about Soojin, showed you her photo, probably got a little teary-eyed talking about his missing stepsister. Very convincing performance. He said she disappeared. She did, but not how he told you. Jiwoo set down his glass. Soojin found out what Minjun really does in his spare time, what he's been doing for years, so he paid her $2 million to disappear to New Zealand and keep her mouth shut. You're lying. Am I? He pulled out his phone, tapped a few times, turned it toward her. Security footage. December 23rd, 2023. Hansong Palace Hotel. Room 1407. The video showed Minjun leading a clearly intoxicated woman into a hotel room. Park Mi-young, victim number 4. The timestamp read 11:47 p.m. Mi-young was reported missing the next morning. He drugs them first, Jiwoo said, voice conversational. Rohypnol usually, sometimes GHB, takes them to hotels he owns. No paper trail, no questions from staff. And when he's done, he made a throat-slitting gesture. Christmas casualties. That's what the police reports say. Tragic accidents. Women drinking too much during the holidays, wandering into dangerous situations. Very sad. Very convenient. Zara's mind worked furiously. The video looked real, but videos could be faked, edited, manipulated. And Jiwoo's story contradicted everything Minjun had told her. Why are you telling me this? Because I've been trying to stop him for 3 years. Jiwoo's expression shifted, became almost earnest. But he's untouchable. Our father protects him. He's the golden child, the heir, the one who'll inherit everything. I'm just the bastard son from the mistress father married after the first wife got inconvenient. Your mother died in a car accident when I was 7. Very suspicious timing, but father didn't become powerful by leaving witnesses. He stepped closer. I've tried going to the police. They're bought. I've tried private investigators. They end up dead or threatened. But you're different. How? You're an outsider. American journalist with international connections. If you publish the truth about Minjun, he can't make you disappear without drawing massive attention. The American embassy would get involved. The international press. Jiwoo's eyes gleamed. You're the one person who can actually stop him. Zara backed up until she hit the window. What do you want from me? Help me catch him. New Year's Eve. He'll kill again. He always does around the holidays. I'll give you everything. Exclusive evidence, witness testimony, documents that prove his involvement. His hand came up, touched her cheek. And I'll keep you safe. Unlike my brother, I don't hurt beautiful things. The touch made her skin crawl. There was something wrong in his eyes, something that reminded her of documentaries about serial killers. That flat effect, the disconnect between words and emotion. I need time to think. No time. Jiwoo's grip on her face tightened. He knows you're here. I triggered a silent alarm when I locked the door. His security team is already on the way up. Panic flared in Zara's chest. What? I needed to make this look real. Like you came here on your own, snooping around, and I caught you. He released her, moved toward the elevator. But I can get you out. Service elevator, maintenance access. My brother doesn't control everything in this building. The main elevator dinged. Ji-woo grabbed her hand. Trust me or stay here and explain to Min-jun why you're going through his things. Your choice. Right now. The elevator doors were opening. Zara made a split-second decision based purely on survival instinct. Get me out! Ji-woo pulled her toward a panel in the wall she hadn't noticed. Seamless, nearly invisible. He pressed a code, and it slid open to reveal a service corridor. Behind them, Zara heard Min-jun's voice. Where is she? They were already inside the hidden passage, the panel sliding shut. Narrow, utilitarian, lit by harsh fluorescent lights. Ji-woo pulled her along at a near run. This way, there's a freight elevator 2 corridors down. How do you know about these passages? I designed the security system for this building. I know every entrance, every exit, every blind spot. He glanced back at her. You're lucky I'm the one who found you first. They reached the freight elevator. Ji-woo hit the button. It opened immediately. Inside, he pressed the button for the parking garage. My car's on level B3. I'll drive you somewhere safe. My apartment is the first place he'll look. You need to disappear for a few days while I gather the evidence. The elevator descended rapidly. I have a safe house in Gangnam. Secure. Off the grid. You can stay there. The elevator jerked to a stop. Basement level 3. The doors opened onto a parking garage. Concrete pillars, expensive cars, the smell of oil and exhaust. This way? Ji-woo led her to a black sedan, luxury model tinted windows. He opened the passenger door. Zara hesitated. I know you don't trust me, Ji-woo said. I wouldn't either. But right now, I'm the only person in Seoul who can keep you alive. So get in the car, or take your chances with my brother's security team. As if on cue, voices echoed from somewhere in the garage, men shouting in Korean. Zara got in the car. Ji-woo slid into the driver's seat, started the engine. They peeled out of the parking spot just as 3 men in black suits appeared near the elevator. Ji-woo drove fast but controlled, weaving through late-night traffic with practiced ease. Snow had started falling again, making the roads treacherous. Where are we going? Zara asked, one hand on the door handle. I told you, safe house. I'm not going anywhere with you until I verify what you told me. Ji-woo glanced at her, then sighed. He reached into the center console, pulled out a USB drive identical to the one Min-jun had given her. Everything's on here. Security footage from multiple hotels, financial records showing payoffs to victims' families, police reports that were buried, witness statements from hotel staff. He tossed it in her lap. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Are you sure you want to know the truth? Zara clutched the USB drive. Why are you doing this? Really? Because Min-jun killed the only woman I ever loved. The rawness in his voice made Zara look at him. For the first time, actual emotion broke through his polished exterior. Kim Yuna. Victim number 4 on your board. We were together for 2 years. I was going to propose. His hands tightened on the steering wheel. She found out about his activities, came to me, said she had proof. I told her to wait, that I'd handle it. The next day, she disappeared. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, help me stop him. He pulled the car over near her apartment building. I know you want to go home, check your locks, feel safe, but you won't be. He knows where you live. Then why bring me here? Because you won't trust me until you see the evidence yourself, and stubborn women can't be convinced, only shown. He leaned across too close. But Zara, when you watch those videos, when you see what he really is, remember that I tried to warn you. His hand touched her face again, fingers trailing down her neck. Don't become victim number 6. Zara pulled away, opened the door. How do I contact you? You don't. I'll contact you. He handed her a burner phone. Keep this on you. When I have everything ready, I'll call. New Year's Eve. We end this together. She took the phone, got out of the car. Ji-woo drove off, leaving her standing in the falling snow outside her building. Back at her apartment, Zara triple-locked the door, shoved her desk chair under the handle, pushed her dresser against it for good measure. Then she sat on her bed, laptop open, both USB drives in hand. 2 brothers. 2 completely different stories. One of them was lying. Maybe both. She plugged in Ji-woo's USB drive first. Files opened, hundreds of them. She started with a folder labeled Evidence, video files dated over 3 years. She clicked the first one, security footage from Hanseong Palace Hotel. December 25th, 2022. Min Jun escorting Soo-jin through the lobby, but instead of going to a room, they went to the parking garage, got into his car, drove away. Next video, airport security footage. Soo-jin checking in for a flight to Auckland, alone, alive. Next, financial records. $2 million wire transfer from Min Jun's personal account to a bank in New Zealand, dated January 2nd, 2023. The pattern continued through each victim, Min Jun meeting them, taking them somewhere safe, arranging their disappearances, paying them to vanish. She ejected that drive, plugged in Min Jun's drive, a folder labeled The Truth. Inside, medical records. The missing women were alive, in witness protection programs across different countries. Australia, Canada, the UK, New Zealand. Testimony transcripts. They'd all discovered evidence of Kang Dae-jung's trafficking operation. Min Jun had extracted them before his father's people could kill them. The jewelry in his desk, personal items he'd saved to return when it was safe. Police reports, all investigations shut down by Captain Huang, who was on Dae-jung's payroll. Zara's hands shook. This contradicted everything Ji-woo had said. The files opened to a single video file labeled Watch First. She clicked it. Min Jun's face filled her screen. He looked tired, sitting in what appeared to be this very office. Zara, he said, voice heavy. If you're watching this, you've already met my brother, and you're confused. Good, that means you're smart enough to question everything. He leaned forward closer to the camera. Ji-woo is the killer. He's been framing me for years, trying to take over the family business. The women he claims I saved, he killed them. The ones I actually saved, he's trying to find them. Zara's blood went cold. I gave you that keycard tonight as a test. Would you trust me or would you betray me? You chose to investigate. I don't blame you. In your position, I'd do the same. His expression softened. Became vulnerable in a way she hadn't seen at dinner. But now you're in real danger. Ji-woo knows you have evidence. He'll come for you. Tonight. Tomorrow. Soon. He held up something to the camera. A photo. Zara recognized it immediately, the photo from her apartment wall, the one of all 5 victims together. This photo doesn't exist in any of your research, does it? Because I took it. 3 years ago. These women came to me after they found evidence against my father. I was trying to save them all at once, hide them together. But Ji-woo found out. He killed 2 of them before I could get them away. Min Jun's voice cracked. Soo-jin, Mi-young, and Jisoo are alive. Min Seo and Yuna are dead, killed by my brother. The woman who died last night, Haiwon, she was my source inside the law firm investigating my father. Ji-woo killed her to send a message. He set down the photo. There's a panic button under your kitchen sink, red. Press it and I'll come for you. Or don't. Take your chances with Ji-woo. The video ended. Zara sat frozen, laptop screen reflecting in her eyes. 2 completely opposite stories, both with evidence, both plausible. She opened Ji-woo's other files, found the security footage he'd shown her. Min Jun with Mi-young entering that hotel room. But she let it play longer than Ji-woo had shown her. 30 seconds later, Min Jun left the room alone, returned 5 minutes later with a woman. Not Mi-young, someone else. Similar build, wearing Mi-young's clothes. A body double. The timestamp glitched. The video had been edited. Son of a bitch, Zara whispered. If this story hooked you, like the video, subscribe for more gripping thrillers and comment below. Would you trust Min Jun or Ji-woo? Her apartment lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then, complete darkness. Zara's heart slammed against her ribs. She fumbled for her phone, turned on the flashlight. In the narrow beam of light, she heard it, the scrape of metal on metal. Someone was picking her lock. She grabbed the laptop, both USB drives, shoved them in her bag, ran to the kitchen, dropped to her knees, felt under the sink. There, a button. Red. Just like Min Jun said. She pressed it. Nothing happened. No sound, no light, no confirmation. The lock clicked open. The door pushed against her makeshift barricade. Chair, dresser, deadbolts. It held for now. Zara. The voice came from the hallway, distorted, filtered through the door. She couldn't tell if it was Min Jun or Ji-woo. I know you're in there. We need to talk. She pressed the panic button again. Still nothing. I have something you want, the voice continued. Information about your sister, about Maya. Zara froze. That's right. I know about Maya Williams, 14 years old, disappeared December 2009, Atlanta, Georgia, never found. A pause. What if I told you the two cases are connected? You're lying, Zara called back, voice shaking. Am I? Your sister's case went cold because the lead detective was paid off, paid by someone with international connections, someone who moves people across borders. The door shook as whoever was outside pushed harder. Someone like Kang Dae-jung? The dresser scraped against the floor. The barricade was failing. Zara ran to the window, threw it open. Fire escape 7 floors up. Snow and ice coating every surface. Behind her, wood splintered. She looked back. The door burst open, barricade crashing aside. A figure stood silhouetted in the doorway, tall, broad-shouldered face hidden in shadow. Moonlight glinted off something in his hand. A knife. Hello, Zara, the figure said. Merry Christmas. The voice was clearer now. She recognized it. Ji-woo stepped into the light. But behind him, in the hallway, movement. More figures. I brought friends, Ji-woo said, advancing. I wanted our first time together to be special. Zara didn't think. She climbed out the window onto the fire escape. Going somewhere? Ji-woo lunged, but another figure crashed through her apartment door from the outside hallway. Min-jun. He tackled Ji-woo, and they went down in a tangle of limbs and violence. Zara, go! Min-jun shouted. There she went. Snow made the metal treacherous. Zara climbed down as fast as she dared, boots slipping, hands freezing on the icy rungs. Above her, gunshots. The sharp crack of bullets hitting metal. Sparks flew inches from her head. She looked up. Ji-woo leaned over the railing, gun aimed. You can't run forever, he called down. Another shot. Zara pressed herself against the building. Then Min-jun appeared behind Ji-woo, grabbing his arm, forcing it up. The gun discharged into the air. They fought on the 7th floor landing, while Zara scrambled down. 4th floor, 3rd floor, 2nd. Her foot slipped on an icy rung. She fell. Caught herself one-handed, dangling 40 feet above the alley. Pain shot through her shoulder. She swung, found the ladder with her feet, kept climbing. Above, Min-jun and Ji-woo's fight had moved inside the building. Zara reached the ground, dropped the last 6 feet into a snowdrift. She ran. The alley opened onto the main street, traffic, people, witnesses, safety and crowds. A car screeched to a stop beside her. Black sedan, driver's window rolled down, Min-jun at the wheel, blood on his face. Get in. Zara hesitated for half a second, then got in. They peeled out as Ji-woo emerged from her building, gun still in hand. Zara's entire body shook, adrenaline, cold, fear, all of it catching up at once. Min-jun drove with one hand, the other pressed against his side. Blood seeped between his fingers. You're hurt, Zara said. I'm fine. You're bleeding. I've had worse. He took a corner too fast, tires sliding on snow. Are you okay? Define okay. Despite everything, he almost smiled. They drove in silence for several minutes, weaving through Seoul's late-night traffic. Min-jun kept checking the rearview mirror. Where are we going? Zara asked. Somewhere safe. My private estate outside the city. 24-hour security, walls, guards. Ji-woo can't reach you there. Your brother is trying to kill you. Yes, I know. I've been trying to tell you that since we met. He winced, adjusted his grip on his side. Did you watch the videos? Both drives. Yes. Then you know. Ji-woo has been killing these women and framing me. He wants to take over from our father, but Dae-jung won't hand over the empire while I'm alive. So Ji-woo's been systematically destroying my credibility, making me look like a monster. He said you killed Kim Yoona, that she was his girlfriend. Yoona was one of the 2 I couldn't save in time. Ji-woo killed her because she refused to cooperate with him. Min-jun's voice went hard. He was obsessed with her. When she rejected him, he murdered her and blamed me. He also said he has information about my sister, about Maya. Min-jun glanced at her, expression unreadable. Do you believe him? I don't know what to believe anymore. Then believe this. He pulled the car over suddenly, turned to face her. I have spent 3 years trying to save women from my father's organization. I have killed people, yes. Rival gang members, traffickers, men who deserved it. I'm not innocent, but I'm not the monster my brother is. Blood continued seeping through his shirt. He was hurt worse than he was admitting. We need to get you to a hospital, Zara said. No hospitals. Too many questions. And my father has people everywhere. He put the car back in gear. There's a doctor at my estate, he'll patch me up. Spare a moment to hit that subscribe button. Click a like and drop a comment letting us know where you're watching from. Your action will trigger more of these kinds of interesting stories. They drove another 20 minutes, leaving the city behind. The roads became narrower, less travelled. Finally, they turned through massive gates, iron topped with cameras and what looked like electrified wire. The estate beyond was enormous. Traditional Korean architecture mixed with modern security features. Walls surrounded the entire property. Min-jun pulled up to the main house. Guards appeared immediately, opening doors, speaking rapidly in Korean. One of them helped Min-jun out of the car. He waved them off, insisted on walking on his own. "Come on," he said to Zara. "Let's get inside." Opulent but cold. Marble floors, expensive art on the walls, everything carefully curated and quietly threatening. Min-jun led her through to a private wing, down a hallway lined with closed doors. He opened one. "You'll stay here. Everything you need, clothes, toiletries, security monitors so you can see the entire property." The room was stunning, more of a suite than a bedroom. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking snowy gardens, a fireplace already burning, a luxurious bed that probably cost more than her car. "The doctor will check you out," Min-jun said. "Make sure you're not injured." "I'm fine. You're the one who's bleeding." "I'll survive. I always do." He moved toward the door, then stopped. "Zara, I need you to stay here, in this room, until I come back." "Where are you going?" "To end this." "My father, Ji-woo?" "This stops tonight. Then I'm coming with you." "Absolutely not. I'm the journalist. I need the story, and you need a witness." She stepped closer to him, saw the pain he was hiding in the tension around his eyes. "Plus, someone needs to make sure you don't do something stupid and heroic and get yourself killed." Min-jun stared at her, this impossible woman who'd walked into his life and refused to walk back out even when every rational instinct should tell her to run. "You're going to get me killed," he said, but there was no heat in it. "Or I'll save your life." A long moment passed between them. Something shifted in the air. Recognition of a choice already made, a line already crossed. "Fine," Min-jun finally said. "But you stay in the car. You record everything. If I die, you publish the truth and disappear. Deal?" "Deal." He started to leave again. "Min-jun." He turned back. "Earlier in the car, you said you've killed people, that you're not innocent." Zara searched his face. "If we survive this, what happens then?" "If I survive?" His expression went carefully blank. "I disappear. Leave Seoul. Start over somewhere my family's name doesn't follow me." "Alone?" The word hung between them, heavy with implication. Min-jun looked at her, really looked at her, like he was trying to memorize her face. "That depends," he said quietly, "on whether you'd come with me." Before Zara could respond, his phone rang. He answered, expression immediately darkening. "When?" A pause. "How many?" Another pause. "I'll be right there." He ended the call, looked at Zara. "Change of plans. My father just arrived. With Ji-woo. They're demanding to see me. Now." "That's a trap." "Obviously." Min-jun pulled a gun from his waistband, checked the clip. "But it's also an opportunity. Get them both in one place, with witnesses, with evidence recording. End this cleanly. Or get yourself killed. There's always that risk." He moved to the door. "Stay here. Lock the door after I leave. Don't come out until I text you that it's safe." "Min-jun?" He crossed back to her in 2 strides, cupped her face in his hands and kissed her. Not gentle, not careful. Desperate and fierce and entirely too brief. When he pulled back, his eyes were dark. "If I don't come back," he said, voice rough, "run. Take all the evidence. Publish everything. And forget about me. I won't forget you." "You might have to." Then he was gone. Zara stood alone in the luxurious room, heart pounding, lips still tingling from that kiss. She waited exactly 3 minutes. Then she grabbed her bag and followed him. Zara crept through the hallways, following the sound of raised voices. She found a gallery overlooking the main hall, A balcony hidden behind ornate screens, perfect for observation. Below, 3 men faced each other. Min Jun, still bleeding but standing tall. Kang Dae-jung, 60-something, cruel face, expensive suit that couldn't hide the violence underneath. Jae Woo, smiling like a snake. Zara pulled out her phone, started recording. "My sons," Dae-jung said in Korean, subtitled by her phone's app. "Together at last. How touching." "What do you want, father?" Min Jun asked. "To end this. The journalist. Where is she?" "Dead. I took care of it." Zara held her breath. Ji-woo laughed. "Liar. She's here. I can smell her perfume." He looked up directly at Zara's hiding spot. "Hello, Zara?" he called in English. "Why don't you join us? It's rude to eavesdrop." Guards appeared on the balcony behind her. Guns drawn. She was surrounded. The guards grabbed Zara roughly, hauling her down the stairs. Her phone clattered to the marble floor, still recording, she hoped. They shoved her into the center of the hall. She stumbled, caught herself, looked up to find 3 pairs of eyes on her. Min Jun's face had gone white, not fear, fury barely contained. "Let her go," he said, voice deadly quiet. "She's not part of this." Dae-jung circled her slowly, studying her like she was livestock at auction. Up close, he radiated menace, the kind that came from decades of getting away with atrocities. "The Black American journalist," he said in accented English. "Interesting choice, Min Jun. You always did have exotic tastes." "Go to hell," Zara said. The backhand came fast. She hit the floor, tasting blood. Min Jun exploded forward. Guards tackled him before he reached his father. It took 3 of them to hold him back. "Touch her again and I'll kill you myself." The words came out feral, barely human. Dae-jung looked at his son with something like disappointment. "Still weak. After everything I taught you. After everything I made you into. Still controlled by sentiment." He hauled Zara up by her arm, forced her to face Min Jun. "Look at him," Dae-jung said to her. "This is the man you're protecting? The one you think is worth dying for?" Zara spat blood on the marble. "He's worth 10 of you." Bold words. Dae-jung shoved her toward Ji-woo, who caught her with practiced ease. "But let's see if you still believe them when you learn the truth." Ji-woo's arms wrapped around her from behind, restraining but also something worse, possessive. "You've caused quite a problem, Miss Williams," Dae-jung continued. "My sons are at war because of you. 3 years of careful planning, of building our empire, threatened by one nosy American with a savior complex." "They're at war because you made them monsters," Zara shot back. Ji-woo laughed against her ear. "I like her. Can I keep her, father?" "You're not touching her," Min Jun snarled, still struggling against the guards. "Enough!" Dae-jung's voice cracked like a whip. "I'm tired of this. 3 years of missing women, investigations, scandals threatening our business. It ends tonight." He pulled a gun from his jacket, sleek, black, expensive, set it on the table between them. "One of you is lying to me," he said, looking between his sons. "One of you has been killing these women, creating problems, threatening everything we've built. I don't care which one anymore." He pushed the gun toward them. "So here's how this works. One of you kills the journalist, right now. Whoever does it proves their loyalty. The other," he smiled, cold as January, "is the traitor." Silence crashed through the hall. Zara's heart hammered. This was insane. This was Ji-woo released her, moved toward the gun. "No," Min Jun said. Ji-woo picked up the weapon, checked the clip with casual familiarity. Then he pointed it at Zara. "You said you loved her, Hyung," he said softly. "Let's test that." Min Jun stopped struggling. His eyes locked on Zara's, full of something she couldn't name. Regret, maybe, or goodbye. "Don't," he said to his brother. "Why not? She's nobody, a foreign journalist sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. 1 bullet, problem solved." "Because I'll trade," Min Jun's voice came out steady. "My life for hers." "No," Zara started. "Shut up," Min Jun said, not looking away from his father. "Let her go. Give her a car, money, a flight home. I'll stay. I'll do whatever you want. No more questions, no more rebellion, just let her live. Dae-jung studied his son. You'd give up everything for this woman? Your freedom? Your life? Yes. Ji-woo's face twisted with fury. He's playing you, father. He's been playing all of us, the missing women. He did save them to blackmail you. They have evidence of your entire trafficking operation. Dae-jung turned slowly to Min-jun. Is this true? Min-jun lifted his chin. Yes. Gasps from the gathered guards. Zara watched the admission ripple through the room. I have everything, Min-jun continued. Financial records. Shipping manifests, victim testimony, bank accounts, names of every cop on your payroll. It's in safe deposit boxes across 6 countries. If I die, it all goes public. Every news organization in the world gets a copy. You'd destroy your own family? Dae-jung's voice had gone quiet, more dangerous than when he was shouting. You destroyed this family the day you started selling women like cattle. The slap echoed through the hall. Min-jun's head snapped to the side. Ungrateful boy! I gave you everything! Min-jun spat blood, looked back at his father. You gave me nothing. Mother gave me everything, and you murdered her for finding out the truth. Zara's breath caught. The room went deathly still. What? She whispered. His suicide story? Min-jun laughed bitterly. He poisoned her. Christmas Day 12 years ago. Because she tried to leave, tried to take me with her, tried to expose what he really was. She was weak, Dae-jung said flatly. Like you're being now. Ji-woo had been watching this exchange, gun still pointed at Zara. Now he lowered it slightly. Enough family therapy, he said. Father, let me end this. Both of them. Clean slate. We start fresh. He raised the gun again, aimed at Zara. Min-jun threw himself forward, breaking free of the guard's grip. Bang! The gunshot was deafening in the enclosed space. Min-jun dropped. No! Zara screamed. She lunged toward him, but Ji-woo grabbed her, held her back. Min-jun lay on the marble floor, blood spreading across his white shirt from his shoulder. He gasped, tried to sit up. Zara! Run! Ji-woo pressed the gun to her temple. Touching! Now you! The lights cut out. Emergency backup kicked in, red lighting, alarms blaring. Gunfire erupted from outside. Shouting, the sound of vehicles, boots on pavement. A guard ran in, panicked. Sir, we're under attack! Police! SWAT teams! They're everywhere! What? Dae-jung spun toward the windows. The main doors burst open. Detective Park strode in, surrounded by heavily armed officers in tactical gear. More poured in from side entrances surrounding the hall, weapons raised. Kang Dae-jung, Park's voice carried over the chaos. You're under arrest for human trafficking, murder, conspiracy, bribery, and about 50 other charges I'm going to enjoy reading to you. Chaos erupted. Ji-woo tried to run. 2 officers tackled him to the ground, the guns skittering away. Dae-jung pulled another weapon. 3 officers fired simultaneously. He went down. In the confusion, Zara dropped to her knees beside Min-jun, pressed her hands against his wound, blood soaked through her fingers. Stay with me, she said, tears streaming down her face. Please, don't you dare die. Min-jun's hand found hers, weak but there, bossy, even now. How did the police know? I called them. Before I came down. He coughed, blood on his lips. Sent everything, all the evidence, security footage from tonight, everything. You idiot. You could have told me. You would have tried to stop me. Another cough. This way. You're innocent. A victim. You walk away clean. I'm not walking away from you. You have to. His eyes were losing focus. I'm going to prison. For my own crimes. Money laundering. Obstruction. The people I killed. I'm not innocent, Zara. Paramedics rushed in, pushing Zara aside. Gunshot wound to the shoulder. Possible lung involvement. We need to move him now. They loaded Min-jun onto a stretcher. He reached for her hand. Zara! I'm coming with you. She tried to follow the stretcher. Detective Park stepped in front of her. Miss Williams, we need your statement. Everything that happened here tonight. Later! I'm not leaving him. Miss Williams, I said later. She shoved past him, ran after the paramedics. The ambulance screamed through Seoul's streets, siren wailing. Paramedics worked frantically over Min-jun, scissors cutting away his blood-soaked shirt. BP's dropping. Get another line in. Zara wedged herself in the corner, out of the way but refusing to leave. She gripped the wall as the ambulance took corners too fast. Min-jun's eyes opened, found hers through the chaos. Tell Soo-jin. His voice was barely a whisper. Tell her I'm sorry that I tried. You can tell her yourself when you wake up. Zara. His hand reached toward her. She grabbed it, held tight. The heart monitor's beeping grew erratic. He's crashing! The paramedic grabbed paddles. BP's at 60/40. Min-jun, stay with me. Zara squeezed his hand harder. Fight, please. His eyes closed. The monitor flatlined, a single terrible tone. He's in V-fib, charging to 200. Clear! Min-jun's body jolted with the shock. The line stayed flat. Again, 300. Clear! Another shock, another terrible moment. Come on, come on! The monitor beeped. Once, twice, regular rhythm establishing. We got him back, but he's unstable. ETA to hospital? 3 minutes. Zara released a breath she didn't know she was holding. Min-jun's hand was limp in hers, but his chest rose and fell. Still alive. For now. The ambulance screeched to a stop. Doors flew open. Gunshot wound, shoulder, extensive blood loss, coded once in transit. The paramedics rattled off information as they rushed the stretcher inside. Zara tried to follow. A nurse stopped her. Family only past this point. Zara started, then realized she had no claim. Not girlfriend, not wife, not family. I'm a witness. The police need to question him. The police can wait. He's going into surgery. It could be hours. The doors swung shut, separating her from Min-jun. Zara stood in the empty hallway, covered in his blood, shaking. Someone touched her shoulder. She spun. Detective Park stood there looking exhausted. Come on, he said gently. Let's get you cleaned up. Then we talk. Zara sat wrapped in a hospital blanket, having washed Min-jun's blood from her hands in the bathroom. It had taken 5 minutes of scrubbing before the water finally ran clear. Park sat across from her, notepad out. From the beginning, he said. Everything. So she told him. The threatening phone call, the break-in, meeting Min-jun, the USB drives, Ji-woo's lies, the confrontation at the estate. Park listened, occasionally jotting notes. The evidence Kang Min-jun sent us, he said when she finished. It's extensive, damning. His father's entire operation is finished. We've already started making arrests. Police officers, government officials, judges. It goes all the way to the top. What about Ji-woo? In custody. He's already trying to make a deal. Park's expression hardened. Claims he was trying to stop his brother. That Min-jun was the real killer. That's a lie. I know. The evidence makes that clear. Ji-woo killed Kim Yoona and Choi Min-seo. We found their bodies this morning, buried on one of the family's properties. He's going away for the rest of his life. Zara closed her eyes. At least those families would have answers. Closure. And Min-jun? She asked quietly. Park sighed. He's not innocent, Miss Williams. You know that. He's committed crimes. Money laundering, obstruction of justice, assault. The people he killed, even if they were criminals themselves, it's still murder under Korean law. But he saved those women. Soo-jin, Mi-young, Ji-soo. They're alive because of him. I know, and that will matter. The prosecution will take his cooperation into account, the testimony from the women he saved. His role in bringing down his father's organization, Park leaned forward. If he survives surgery, he's looking at prison time, but probably not as much as he fears. Maybe 5 years, maybe less with good behavior. 5 years? It felt like forever and no time at all. What about me? Zara asked. You're free to go. You're a victim in all this. Targeted by Ji-woo, used by both brothers, nearly killed multiple times. He stood. We'll need you for testimony when the trials start. But for now, you should rest. Go home. Process everything. Home. She didn't even know what that meant anymore. Park headed for the door, then paused. For what it's worth, he said, Kang Min-jun could have disappeared. With his resources, he could have run to any country without an extradition treaty, could have started over, stayed hidden. But he didn't. He stayed to finish this, to bring his father down, to protect you. He left. Zara sat alone in the waiting room as dawn light crept through the windows. Other people filtered in, families waiting for loved ones, worried expressions, whispered prayers. She pulled out her phone. 17 missed calls from James, texts from colleagues, emails from news organizations wanting the story. She turned the phone off. 6 hours later, a surgeon emerged, exhausted, pulling off blood-stained gloves. Zara shot to her feet. Kang Min-jun? Are you family? She hesitated. I'm all he has right now. The surgeon studied her, then nodded. The surgery went well. We repaired the damage to his shoulder. The bullet missed major arteries. He was lucky. He lost a lot of blood, but with transfusions and time, he should recover fully. Relief hit her so hard she had to sit down. Can I see him? He's in recovery, still sedated. But the surgeon's expression softened. He'll be moved to ICU in an hour. You can see him then, briefly. Thank you. The surgeon left. Zara waited. Min-jun lay in the hospital bed, pale against white sheets, tubes and monitors everywhere. The steady beep of the heart monitor was the most beautiful sound Zara had ever heard. She approached slowly, sat in the chair beside the bed, his eyes opened, barely but enough. You're still here, he whispered, voice rough from intubation. Where else would I be? Safe. Away from me. Smart. When have I ever been smart about you? Despite everything, he almost smiled. Zara took his hand carefully, avoiding the IV line. What happened? He asked. My father? Jiwoo? Your father's dead. Jiwoo's in custody. The whole organization is falling apart. She squeezed his hand gently. You did it. You gave the police everything they needed. The women you saved are testifying. You're a hero to them. A hero who'll spend the next few years in prison. Detective Park said maybe 5 years, maybe less. 5 years is a long time to ask someone to wait. The words hung between them, heavy with implication. Zara leaned closer. Good thing I'm patient. Min-jun stared at her. Zara, you don't have to. I know, but I want to. She brushed hair from his forehead. You told me you loved me. Did you mean it? Yes. Then we have time. 5 years, 10 years, whatever it takes, I'll wait. Why? His voice broke on the word. Why would you do that? Because you're the first person who made me believe I could actually save someone, that all the investigating, all the searching for my sister, all the years of trying, it wasn't pointless. Her thumb traced his knuckles. And maybe you saved me too. She kissed him, soft, careful of his injuries, full of promise. Outside the window, fireworks exploded across Seoul's skyline. Midnight, December 31st becoming January 1st. Happy New Year, Min-jun whispered. Happy New Year. They stayed like that, hands intertwined, foreheads touching, breathing the same air, as the old year burned away and something new began. The next 3 years unfolded not in a straight line, but in fragments, moments stitched together by endurance rather than hope. Zara sat in the back of the courtroom on the day Min-jun was sentenced. Her hands folded so tightly in her lap that her knuckles ached. The judge's voice carried with practiced neutrality as numbers were reduced to consequences. 15 years became 6, shaved down by cooperation, by testimony, by truths that had cost Min-jun more than freedom. When it was over, when the gavel struck and the room exhaled, Min-jun turned his head just enough to find her in the gallery. Their eyes met. No words passed between them. Zara nodded once, small, steady. We will survive this. Life moved, because it always does. Months later, in a glass-walled office in New York, Zara signed her name at the bottom of a contract that felt heavier than any confession she had ever made. The title stared back at her in bold print, Mistletoe and Malice, the true story of Seoul's Christmas killer. The pen trembled only once before she lifted it. This, too, was survival, turning blood and silence into something that could not be buried. She visited Min-jun as often as the system allowed. At first, there was plexiglass between them, cold and unforgiving, their palms pressed to opposite sides as if touch alone might crack it. They spoke about small things then, books, weather, the way time dragged and sprinted all at once. Later, after months of good behaviour, the barrier disappeared. They sat across from each other in an open visiting room, close enough to see the changes in his face. Prison had stripped something from him, but it had also unburdened him. He looked lighter, quieter, almost at peace. At night in her Seoul apartment, Zara talked to Soo-jin through a glowing screen that spanned continents. New Zealand sunlight spilled into Soo-jin's frame as they whispered plans like secrets, an isolated cabin, clean air, a future that belonged to no one else's ghosts. They laughed more easily now. They dared to imagine. The book arrived in stores before Zara was ready to see it. Stacked high in a Seoul bookstore, face out and unavoidable, it sold faster than anyone predicted. Bestseller lists followed. So did lines of strangers asking her to sign their copies, thanking her for her courage, for her honesty, for surviving. Zara smiled until her cheeks hurt and went home hollowed out, knowing the story was never really hers alone. In his cell, Min-jun read every word. He lingered over passages that cut too close, smiled faintly at others that softened the truth without lying. When he reached the dedication, he stopped. His finger traced the ink as though it might fade if he didn't anchor it there. For Min-jun, who taught me that monsters can choose to be men. 3 years later, Zara sits across from a Korean interviewer, polished and successful. Her book sits on the table between them. So, Miss Williams, your book has been a bestseller for 6 months now. It's being adapted into a Netflix series. How does it feel? Surreal, Zara says. But what matters most is that the victims got their stories told, that the trafficking ring was destroyed, that families got closure. And Kang Min-jun, the man at the centre of your story. Do you still have contact with him? Zara's professional smile doesn't waver. No comment. That same day, she visits Min-jun. He's different now after 3 years. Beard trimmed, eyes clearer, carrying himself with quiet dignity instead of dangerous grace. I read your book, he says. You made me sound too heroic. I wrote the truth. You wrote your truth. There's a difference. He leans back. I got news yesterday. My sentence was reduced again. Good behaviour. Continued cooperation with investigations. 2 more years. I'll be out in 2 more years. I know. I've been counting. Zara. He reaches across the table, takes her hand. You don't have to keep doing this. You've built an incredible life, career, fame, opportunities. You could have anyone. And you think that changes how I feel? It should. She leans forward, intense. When you get out, I have a plan. There's a cabin in New Zealand near Soo-jin. She wants to meet me. Wants to thank the woman who helped her brother save her life. We could start over. New names if you want. New life. Clean slate. You'd give up everything? Your career? The fame? I'm not giving up anything. I'm choosing everything I want. Her grip on his hand tightens. I'm choosing you. The guard calls time. They stand. Min-jun pulls her into a hug. Brief, aloud, precious. 2 more years, he whispers against her hair. 2 more years, she echoes. Auckland International Airport 2 years later, Zara stands at the arrivals gate, holding a small bouquet of flowers. She's dressed casually, jeans, sweater, hair natural and free. She looks nervous and excited and terrified all at once. Passengers stream through the doors. And then, Min-jun, civilian clothes. No expensive suit, no designer watch. Just a simple jacket and jeans and a duffel bag slung over his shoulder. Free. Their eyes meet across the crowd. For a moment, neither moves. 5 years of waiting, of hoping, of believing this moment would come. And now it's here. Then Zara runs. Min-jun drops his bag, catches her as she crashes into him. He lifts her off the ground, spins her, holds her like she's the only real thing in the world. They kiss, desperate, joyful, alive. When they finally break apart, both are crying. "You're really here," Zara says, touching his face like she needs to confirm he's real. "I'm really here." "No more running?" "No more running." He cups her face in both hands. "Just us. New life. Like you promised. Like I promised." They kiss again as the sun streams through the airport windows, warm and bright and full of possibility. A small but beautiful cabin overlooks rolling hills and distant mountains. Smoke curls from the chimney. Min-jun and Zara walk hand in hand toward it. A woman stands on the porch, Soo-jin, older now, but with that same bright smile from the photos. She runs down to meet them, throws her arms around Min-jun. "Oppa," she says, crying, "you're here. You're finally here." "I told you I'd come." Soo-jin turns to Zara, studies her, then smiles. "Thank you," she says in careful English, "for saving my brother while he was saving me." "He saved himself," Zara replies. "I just stuck around." Soo-jin laughs, pulls them both toward the cabin. "Come on, dinner's ready. We have so much to talk about." Min-jun and Zara follow, fingers intertwined. At the door he stops, looks back at the sunset painting the hills gold. "What is it?" Zara asks. "Just..." He turns to her, and his smile is real. No shadows, no guilt, no weight of his father's legacy. "I'm free. Actually free. For the first time in my life." So he thought. She kisses him softly. "Welcome home." They go inside together. Back in Seoul, a woman in her 50s sits in an elegant study, watching a news report on her laptop. Former Kang crime family heir Kang Min-jun, released from prison today after serving 5 years. Sources say he's left the country. His testimony helped dismantle one of Asia's largest trafficking networks. She closes the laptop, picks up her phone, dials. "He's out," she says in Korean. "And he's in New Zealand with the journalist." A pause, listening. "No, don't kill him. Not yet. He deserves to taste freedom before I take it away." Her smile is cold. "Kill her. Make him watch. Then bring him back to Seoul." She hangs up, stands, moves to a wall of photographs. Her finger traces one, a younger version of herself with Kang Dae-jung at their wedding. But her face in the photo is bruised, smile forced. She pulls out a lighter, sets the photo on fire, watches it curl and blacken. "You thought you won, Min-juna," she whispers. "You thought destroying your father ended the story, but you forgot about me. You always forgot about the mistresses, the disposable women." She picks up another photo, Min-jun as a child, with his mother. "Your mother tried to stop your father. She failed. You succeeded. But now?" She sets that photo on fire too. "Now you'll learn that some legacies don't die. They just wait." She makes another call. "Activate the New Zealand team. I want eyes on both of them by tomorrow. And find me everything on Soo-jin, where she works, who she knows, what makes her vulnerable." She walks to her desk, opens a drawer. Inside, a Kang family ring. The matriarch's ring that should have gone to Min-jun's mother. She slides it onto her finger. "Welcome home, stepson. Your real nightmare is just beginning." 3 weeks later at the cabin in New Zealand, sunlight streamed through the bedroom windows. Zara woke to find Min-jun's side of the bed empty, sheets cool. She found him on the porch, coffee in hand, staring at the mountains. "Couldn't sleep?" she asked, wrapping her arms around him from behind. "Bad dreams." He set down the cup, covered her hands with his. "About prison. About my father. About losing this." "You're not going to lose this." "You don't know that." Before she could respond, Soo-jin emerged from the main house waving her phone. "Oppa, Zara." Come see, your Netflix series just dropped the first trailer. They crowded around her phone, watching. The trailer was slick, dramatic, actor portrayals of their story, Seoul's glittering skyline, tension and romance cut together perfectly. They made me look too pretty, Zara muttered. Impossible, Minjun said. Sujin laughed. You two are disgusting. I love it. Her phone buzzed with a call. Oh, it's my boss. Give me a minute. She walked away, already switching to English to answer. Minjun pulled Zara closer. I've been thinking about your career, the book, the show, the opportunities. You could go back to Seoul or New York, do the publicity circuit, build on your success. Is this you trying to push me away? This is me trying to give you options. You don't have to hide in New Zealand with a convicted felon. I'm not hiding. I'm living. She turned to face him. With you. That was always the plan. Plans change. Not this one. They kissed, soft and warm in the morning light. Sujin's scream shattered the moment. They ran toward her. She stood frozen, phone dangling from her hand, face white. Sujin, what happened? Minjun gripped her shoulders. The call, it wasn't my boss. Her voice shook. It was a woman. Korean. She said she knows where I live. That she's been watching all of us. That we took something from her and now she's taking it back. Minjun's expression went ice cold. What exactly did she say? She said, tell your brother the past doesn't forgive. It just waits. Sujin looked up at him terrified. Oppa, who is she? Minjun pulled out his phone, started making calls. The first 3 went to voicemail. The 4th connected. Detective Park, it's Kang Minjun. I need you to check something for me. My father's associates, any women in the organization who might have survived the arrests. He listened, face growing darker. When did she get out? A pause. 3 weeks ago. The same time I was released. That's not a coincidence. Another pause. Check international travel, New Zealand, Auckland. He ended the call. We need to leave, he said. Right now. Pack only essentials. We have maybe an hour before... A car pulled up the long driveway. Black sedan. Rental plates. Minjun pushed both women toward the house. Inside. Lock the doors. Call the police. I'm not leaving you out here, Zara protested. For once, just do what I say. The car stopped. The driver's door opened. A woman stepped out, elegant, 50s, wearing an expensive coat. She looked like she belonged at a charity gala, not making threats in rural New Zealand. But Zara recognized her from research photos. One of the mistresses. One who'd disappeared after Daijung's arrest. Park Mi-suk. Not victim Park Mi-young. This was someone else entirely. Minjuna? Mi-suk called in Korean, voice pleasant. Is this how you greet your father's widow? You were never his widow. You were his mistress. And you left years ago. I left because your father became sloppy, weak. But I never stopped building what we started. She walked closer, heels clicking on gravel. The trafficking network? Half of it was my design. My contacts in Eastern Europe, my distribution channels in Southeast Asia. Your father got the credit. I did the work. Then you're just as guilty as he was. Mi-suk laughed. Guilty. I prefer to think of it as entrepreneurial. And now that dear Daejung is gone and Jiwoo is rotting in prison, I'm rebuilding. Bigger, smarter, international. 2 more cars pulled up. Men got out, 6 of them, all armed. But I have a problem, Mi-suk continued. You destroyed my business, cost me 3 years and millions of dollars. My partners want compensation, blood, preferably. She gestured to Sujin, starting with the girl who started all of this. If she'd kept her mouth shut about what she found, none of this would have happened. You're not touching her, Minjun said. I'm not? Mi-suk pulled out a gun, small, chrome, deadly. You're outnumbered, unarmed, in a foreign country with no allies. What exactly are you going to do to stop me? Zara stepped forward, phone raised. I'm live streaming this to 50,000 followers. Your face, your threats, everything. You kill us, you're finished. Mi-suk's smile didn't waver. Then I'll be finished, but you'll be dead. Is that a trade you're willing to make? Before anyone could answer, Sujin ran from the house, straight toward Mi-suk. You want me? Here I am. Leave them alone. Sujin, no! Minjun lunged after her. Everything happened at once. Mi-suk raised the gun. Minjun threw himself in front of Sujin. Zara screamed. The gunshot cracked across the valley. Minjun staggered, hand pressed to his side. Blood seeped between his fingers. Oppa! Sujin caught him as he fell. Zara charged Mi-suk, pure fury overriding survival instinct. She tackled the older woman, and they went down in a tangle of limbs. The gun skittered away. Mi-suk was stronger than she looked. She flipped Zara, hands going for her throat. You stupid girl, she hissed. You think love matters? You think it changes anything? In this world, love is just another weakness to exploit. Zara's vision started to darken. She clawed at Mi-suk's hands, couldn't break the grip. Then Sujin was there, swinging a piece of firewood. It connected with Mi-suk's head with a sickening crack. The woman collapsed. Sirens wailed in the distance, multiple vehicles approaching fast. Police cars and an ambulance screamed up the driveway. Detective Park jumped out of the lead car, weapon drawn. Drop your weapons, now! Mi-suk's men hesitated, looked at their boss lying unconscious. One by one, they complied. Park's team swarmed in, securing the scene. Zara crawled to Minjun. He lay on his back, Sujin pressing her jacket against his wound. Not again, Zara whispered. You're not doing this to me again. Minjun's eyes opened. Did we win? The police are here. Mi-suk's done. Yes, we won, you idiot. Good, he coughed, blood on his lips. Because I'm really tired of getting shot. The paramedics pushed them aside, working on him with urgent efficiency. Single gunshot wound right side, looks like it missed major organs. BP's stable. Get him loaded, we need to move. They put him on a stretcher. This time, no one tried to stop Zara from climbing into the ambulance. Auckland Hospital, surgery room. Hours later. Zara sat with Sujin, both covered in blood, both too exhausted for tears. Detective Park had stayed, making phone calls, coordinating with Korean authorities. Park Mi-suk was running the entire operation from the shadows, he explained. After Dae-jung's arrest, she stepped up, rebuilt the network. She was planning to use Minjun's release as an opportunity, kill him publicly, prove that the organization was still powerful, still untouchable. Is she going to survive? Sujin asked. The head wound? Probably. But she's going to prison for the rest of her life. Multiple countries want her. Interpol has been looking for her for 3 years. A doctor emerged and they all jumped to their feet. He's stable, the doctor said. The bullet hit his liver, but we repaired the damage. He's incredibly lucky. Another inch, and we'd be having a different conversation. Zara's legs went weak with relief. Can we see him? One at a time, and brief. He needs rest. Sujin gestured for Zara to go first. Minjun looked pale but alive, hooked up to fewer machines than last time. He managed a weak smile when Zara entered. We have to stop meeting like this, he said. She laughed and cried at the same time. You're an idiot. So you keep telling me. She sat beside him, took his hand carefully. You jumped in front of a bullet. Again. Old habit. Minjun, I can't keep watching you almost die. My heart can't take it. Then stop being in danger and I'll stop having to save you. His thumb traced her knuckles. Deal. Deal. They sat in comfortable silence, just breathing together. Detective Park said Mi-suk is finished, Zara finally said. Her entire network is falling apart. This time, it's really over. Until the next one rises up, there's always someone else. But not your problem anymore. You're done with that world. He looked at her, really looked at her. Am I? Can I ever really be done? This is who I am. This is what I come from. No, this is what you came from. Who you are is the man who spent 5 years in prison to bring down his father's empire, who saved women no one else cared about, who chose to be better than the world that made him. You have a lot of faith in me. Someone has to. Minjun pulled her down, kissed her gently. Marry me. Zara pulled back, stunned. What? Marry me. Right here in New Zealand. Fresh start, new name, new life. Be my wife. Have kids with me. Grow old on that farm Sujin keeps talking about. His eyes were serious, vulnerable. Marry me, Zara Williams. You're high on painkillers. I'm lucid. And I mean it. I've meant it since the night you broke into my office and I realized you were either going to destroy me or save me. I'm betting on save me. Zara laughed through tears. This is the worst proposal ever. You're in a hospital bed covered in blood. Is that a no? It's a yes, you idiot. Of course it's a yes. This kiss was deeper, full of promise and future, and all the things they'd fought so hard to keep. 1 year later, at a farm, New Zealand. Snow didn't fall in New Zealand during Christmas. Instead, summer warmth painted everything gold. The cabin had been expanded into a proper farmhouse. Gardens bloomed. A dog lounged in the shade. Zara stood in the kitchen, flower in her hair, attempting to make cookies with Sujin's guidance. No, like this, Sujin demonstrated, patient despite Zara's complete lack of baking skills. Gentle. You're making cookies, not interrogating witnesses. I'm a journalist. We don't do gentle. You're also a wife now. Wives need to know how to bake. That's sexist and you know it. Sujin laughed. Tell that to your husband when he's eating my cookies instead of yours. Minjun appeared in the doorway carrying firewood. He'd filled out in the past year, healthy, strong, the prison pallor replaced by sun-bronzed skin. He wore flannel and jeans and looked nothing like the dangerous crime lord who'd walked into Zara's life 2 years ago. Are you two fighting about cookies again? Your sister is a tyrant, Zara said. Your wife can't follow basic instructions, Sujin countered. Minjun set down the wood, wrapped his arms around Zara from behind. I like her cookies. They have character. They're burnt, charred. There's a difference. Zara elbowed him. You're not helping. The doorbell rang, a cheerful chime they'd installed last month. Sujin wiped her hands. That'll be Detective Park. He texted that he was close. Park had become a regular visitor, keeping them updated on the trials, the convictions, the slow dismantling of everything Dae-jung had built. Minjun opened the door. Detective Park stood there, but he wasn't alone. Behind him, a woman. Korean, early 30s, shy smile. Park Mi-young, Zara breathed. You came. Mi-young had been one of the women Minjun saved, the one Jiwoo had used in his fabricated evidence. She'd been living in Canada, testifying remotely. All of them came, Park said, stepping aside. 3 more women appeared. Lee Ji-soo, Choi Min-seo's sister. Min-seo hadn't survived, but her family wanted to meet the man who'd tried to save her, and Kim Yuna's mother. Sujin burst into tears, ran to hug them. The house filled with voices, laughter, tears, survivors reuniting with their savior and each other. They crowded around the expanded table, 10 people, mismatched chairs, food covering every surface. Detective Park raised his glass. A toast. To justice. To survival. To second chances. To family, Sujin added. The one we choose. They drank. As dinner progressed, Mi-young turned to Minjun. I never got to thank you properly. You gave me my life back. I'm getting married next spring, in Vancouver. I'd like you and Zara to come. We'll be there, Minjun said. Ji-soo spoke up. I'm starting law school in January. International human rights. I'm going to fight trafficking from the legal side. Because of what you did, I get to do that. Around the table, each woman shared their story. Lives rebuilt, dreams pursued, futures reclaimed. When they'd finished, Yuna's mother stood, walked to Minjun. She was small, elderly, but her eyes were fierce. My daughter died because she tried to be brave, she said in Korean, which Park translated. But you avenged her. You destroyed the people who killed her. You gave me the truth when everyone else gave me lies. She bowed deeply, a gesture of profound respect. Minjun stood, helped her straighten. I'm sorry I couldn't save her. I tried. I failed. You tried. That's more than anyone else did. She pressed something into his hand. This was Yuna's. I want you to have it. A small jade pendant on a chain. Yuna had worn it in all her photos. I can't. Please. She would want you to remember her, to remember why you fought. Minjun's hand closed around the pendant. I'll never forget. The guests had left. Sujin had gone to bed. The house was quiet. Minjun and Zara sat on the porch swing, watching stars emerge. You okay? Zara asked, noticing his silence. I keep thinking about my father, about Jiwoo, about all the things they did, all the people they hurt. He turned Yuna's pendant over in his fingers. And I think about how close I came to being just like them. But you're not. You chose differently. Did I? Or did I just get lucky? If Sujin hadn't found those documents, if you hadn't shown up in Seoul, if any number of things had gone differently, would I have changed? Or would I have just kept running my father's empire, telling myself I was doing it better than he did? Zara didn't have an answer. Maybe there wasn't one. I got a call yesterday, Minjun said, from a prosecutor in Thailand. They're dismantling a trafficking ring in Bangkok. They want my help. I know the operations, the patterns, the way these organizations work. They want me to consult. What did you tell them? That I'd think about it. He looked at her. Would you hate me if I did it? If I couldn't just walk away completely? I could never hate you, but I'd worry. Every day. I know. He pulled her closer. That's why I told them no. Whatever debt I owe the world, I've paid it. I get to be selfish now. I get to choose my wife and my farm and my quiet life over everything else. You sure? Completely. He kissed her temple. Besides, we have enough excitement coming. What do you mean? Minjun placed his hand on her still flat stomach. Sujin told me. She figured it out from the crackers you've been eating, the way you've been avoiding wine. Were you going to tell me? Zara's eyes widened. I was waiting for the right moment. This is the right moment. This is perfect. He slid off the swing, knelt in front of her, hands cradling her stomach. We're having a baby. We're having a baby. When? Early August. Summer baby. Minjun pressed his forehead against her stomach, and Zara felt his shoulders shake. When he looked up, tears tracked down his face. I'm going to be a father. The best father. Nothing like yours. Nothing like him, Minjun agreed. Our kid is going to know safety, love, choice. Everything I didn't have. They're also going to know their father is a hero. I'm not. You are. Zara cupped his face. You fought your entire family. You went to prison. You risked everything to save people you didn't know. You're exactly the kind of hero our child needs. They held each other on the porch as the Southern Cross wheeled overhead, and the future stretched out before them. Uncertain, yes, but theirs. The end did not arrive like an explosion. It came softly, the way healing always does, almost unnoticed at first. On a clear Auckland morning, Minjun and Zara stood outside the registry office with the wind off the harbour tugging at their clothes. There was no crowd, no spectacle. Just the three of them, Zara, Minjun and Sujin, close enough to share breath and certainty. A phone was propped carefully against a railing. Detective Park's face flickering on the screen, his voice breaking slightly as he offered his congratulations from half a world away. The vows were simple, honest. When Minjun took Zara's hands, there was no darkness left in his eyes, only the steady weight of choice. It was perfect because it was real. Life expanded after that. In a hospital room washed in white light, Zara cradled their newborn daughter against her chest, exhausted and radiant all at once. Minjun stood beside her, afraid to blink, as though the moment might vanish if he did. The baby opened her eyes, Zara's eyes, and a shock of dark hair crowned her head, unmistakably his. Minjun's breath hitched. Wonder, pure and unearned, flooded him. The years that followed settled around them like seasons on the land. At the farmhouse, time announced itself in small miracles. Unsteady first steps across wooden floors, a first word shouted triumphantly into open air, laughter ringing through the garden as a tiny girl chased the dog until both collapsed in the grass. Minjun ran beside her as she learned to ride a bike, one hand steady at the seat, letting go before either of them was ready. She rode on anyway. Zara kept writing. Some mornings she sat at her laptop while sunlight crept across the table, fingers moving with purpose that no longer bled. The stories were different now, new investigations, new truths, still sharp but no longer personal in the same way. She looked up often, anchoring herself in the sight of her family, moving freely through a life they had earned. 5 years later on Christmas Eve, the house is full. Soojin and her new boyfriend, Park and his wife, Mi Young visiting from Canada with her husband, other friends and survivors. Min Jun's daughter, now 4 years old, sits on his lap as he reads her a story. Zara watches from the doorway, one hand on her pregnant belly. Baby number 2 arriving in spring. Min Jun looks up, catches her watching, mouths, "I love you." She mouths back, "I love you too." Min Jun tucks his daughter into bed. She looks up at him with serious eyes. "Daddy, Aunt Soojin said you used to live in a big city, with tall buildings and lots of lights." "I did." "Why did you leave?" Minjun smooths her hair back. "Because I found something better. A farm with mountains and a sky full of stars, and most importantly, I found your mum. And then I found you." "Do you miss it, the city?" "Sometimes, but I don't miss who I was there. Here. I get to be who I always wanted to be." "What's that?" "Your dad." He kisses her forehead. "Now sleep. Tomorrow we're picking out a Christmas tree." "The biggest one?" "The biggest one we can find." She closes her eyes, satisfied. Minjun stands, moves to the door, looks back at his daughter sleeping peacefully. In the hallway, Zara waits. She takes his hand. "You okay?" she asks. "Better than okay." He looks around at the home they've built, the life they've created from the ashes of his old one. "I'm free. Actually, finally free." They walk down the hallway together toward their bedroom, toward their future, toward everything they fought so hard to keep. Kang Minjun served 5 years in prison. Upon release, he moved to New Zealand and has had no contact with criminal organizations since. Park Mi-suk received 3 consecutive life sentences for human trafficking, murder, and conspiracy. She is currently incarcerated in South Korea. Kang Ji-woo was sentenced to death for the murders of Kim Yoona and Choi Min-seo. His sentence was later commuted to life imprisonment without parole. The women Minjun saved have rebuilt their lives across 4 continents. All remain in contact with him and consider him family. Zara Williams' book, Mistletoe and Malice, became an international bestseller and was adapted into a Netflix limited series. She continues to investigate human trafficking cases and advocate for survivors. Together, Minjun and Zara founded the Maya Williams Foundation, providing resources and support to families of missing persons. They live quietly in New Zealand with their 2 daughters and have no plans to return to Seoul. 10 years later, a professor stands before a criminology class, showing a documentary about the fall of the Kang Empire. The Kang case remains one of the most significant takedowns of organized crime in Asian history, she lectures. But what makes it unique is that it was dismantled from within, by the heir himself. A student raises his hand. "Professor, whatever happened to Kang Minjun? Is he really in New Zealand?" The professor smiles. "Rumor says yes. But he's disappeared completely from public life. Some say he runs a farm. Others say he does consulting work for Interpol under an assumed name. The truth? No one really knows." "Do you think he was a hero or a criminal?" The professor considers. "Both. Neither. He was a man who made terrible choices, then spent the rest of his life trying to make better ones. Whether that constitutes redemption is for each of us to decide. She clicks to the next slide, a photo of Zara from her book tour years ago. What we do know is that his story, and the story of the women he saved, changed how law enforcement approaches trafficking cases worldwide. The Kang case led to 17 major arrests across 8 countries and the rescue of over 200 victims. She closes her laptop. Sometimes the most important stories are the ones about choosing to change, about refusing to be defined by where you came from. Class dismissed. The students file out. The professor remains, looking at the photo of Zara. She pulls out her phone, sends a text. They're still teaching your story. Hope you're well. Sujin. A response comes immediately. We're happy. That's all that matters. Give the students my best. Zid. Sujin, now Dr. Kang Sujin, criminology professor, smiles. Some stories do have happy endings, even the dark ones. If you think this story was interesting, help it reach a wider audience by liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Turn on notifications for more gripping thrillers and leave a comment below.